Hello and welcome folks to another new episode of Learning Simplified. In our previous tutorial, we had registered the menu bar into our project and we had created our own menu here. As we can see, if we just get down to this appearance section, under this appearance section we can see that this is the menus which is been registered to our project. And this is the menu list items, those been created inside it, and we had saved the menu. But if we get back to our project into the front end part of our site, we can see that this is the Nav Bar where no menu is present right over here. At present, we cannot just view any menu list items into our Nav Bar. That means this menu hasn't been administered into our project. So this is the part that we are going to do in this tutorial. We will administer the menu bar into our project and we will be viewing it. Let's get back to the text editor. This is the functions.php where we had registered our menu bar into our project. In the next case now, we will be administering it into header.php where we actually want our menu to appear. Here we will be using a definite WordPress function which is known as WP Nav Menu. So this is what we are about to do here. This is the WordPress function that we are about to use in the process. So what would happen if we use this WordPress function practically? Press Ctrl S, get back to your project and reload. Again we have missed a semicolon at the end. So we can see that we have practically assembled each and every menu list items, those we had created into our project so far. You can see here that this is the home, about us, and there's a list item, sub menu item into our project under this about us menu list item. And at the end we have this contact us. The same thing we can see here. This is the home, about us, under which this is the sample page, which is a child menu item, and this is the contact us. But as we can see that this is not practically as far as the Bootstrap 4 Nav Bar menu list items, as we have seen in our previous cases, that all of them should be horizontally aligned, as we can see right over here. So we need to make them aligned into our project. In an order to do so, the next thing that we are going to do practically, we will be using an array here where we will be mentioning about, we'll be using this term theme location. So this is the first array item that we will be using right over here. And which menu list item do we wish to appear? This theme location, it practically discloses the ID that we had created so far. If we head back to this functions.php, this is the primary menu, which is the ID. So all we are going to do, we are going to copy it, getting back to header.php, and we will be pasting it right over here in the first place. So we have put it over here. Now in the next case, we will be making usage of a container. So if we head back here, this is the container, this is the name of the containing element which is responsible to wrap up the menu bar. Sorry, there it goes. All we are doing here, this is the container. We are mentioning that no such container is needed right over here. So that's why we have put this false here. And in the next case, we will be putting on some kind of menu class. Okay, so we have done up to this far. We can see that we have set the container to false. We have defined the theme location with the ID that we have created in our previous case. There goes the ID that we have used here. This is the primary menu. And in the last case, we have defined the menu class. That means the UL list item, it will be wrapped up with this individual classes here, this nav bar, nav, and nav item. Now if we press Ctrl S and get back to our project and reload, we won't be seeing anything else right over here. And this is the part where we need something separate, something different, which should be used in this purpose to support all of these bootstrap features into our individual WordPress project. And that is why we will be heading back to Google, and here we will be looking for this bootstrap for worker on GitHub, where we will be redirected to this individual GitHub page. And this is the exact thing that we'll be needing in this purpose in order to use bootstrap navbar elements into our project, class wp bootstrap navworker.php. So as you can see that in the first case, you need to place this class wp bootstrap navworker.php in your WordPress theme folder into the wp content themes where we had created our theme root directory. So this is the first thing. In the next case, we have to open our WordPress themes functions.php file, and we need to make the following connection here. So we need to connect this bootstrap wp bootstrap navworker.php into our project, and in the last case, we need to display our bootstrap nav worker by using all these kind of stuffs right over here. And these are the parameters. So far as we can see, this is the theme location, and this here comes the ID of the menu. So all of them should be called into our project, but this is a later part. The first thing is we need to include this class wp bootstrap navworker.php file into our WordPress theme folder. This is the first thing. So we will be heading back to our WP content. This is the root directory experiment WordPress 2 of our project currently that we are building up. And in the next case, we'll be redirected to this WP content. This is the themes folder, and this is the root directory of the theme that we have created. Inside, we need to paste that individual thing which is known as class wp bootstrap navworker.php. This is the thing. So in the next case, all we need to do, we need to connect that individual file to our project. So in that purpose, we'll be heading back to functions.php, and here all we are going to do, we will make usage of require once, and here this is the WordPress function, and in the next case we need to mention the exact location of the file where we had placed it. So where did we place it? We placed it inside this special files folder. So first of all, mention the folder name. In the next case, we will be requiring this individual class navworker.php here. So we'll be copying it name and paste it right over here. So we can see that we have practically established the connection. So first of all, we placed that individual class wp bootstrap navworker.php into our project. And in the second case, we have linked it up with the theme that we have created. And in the last case, into this header.php, all we need to do, we need to activate it. So we'll be writing here as so this is the thing that we have created right over here. Now if we press Ctrl S, it's time to check whether the establishment was created or not. So we have put here this semicolon. So this is not the semicolon here. Just leave it empty. And here we need to put a comma. There it goes. Press Ctrl S, get back to your project and reload. And you can see that we are almost done right over here. Okay, now let's see what is happening here. We are practically missing here some Bootstrap 4 Navbar classes. That is why this kind of weird orientation is being seen right over here. It is practically displaying the same WordPress classes, those being used here by default. So if we press F12 here, let's click on this thing, and this is the D by D Navbar Nav drop down which has been created right over here. Let's check on this UL class Navbar Nav. So the UL class is working fine, there's no problem. Now let's check each individual classes of this of UL list item, and we can see that there's no such class that we have defined in this particular case. As we can see, there goes the problem. This is the menu class. This is not menu hyphen class. This is practically menu underscore class. So if we now press Ctrl S and let's get back to our project and reload, and we can see that everything is right back into its order. So we are back into track. We are practically using this Bootstrap 4 navigation here. And another thing, we can see that though we have created this individual sub item here under this About Us main menu item, yet we cannot see any kind of drop down here. Now here goes another fact. Let's get back to our project. We need to mention the depth. So if we put here depth, there it goes. Now if we put here 1, there won't be any problem here. There it goes. But instead of 1, if we put here 2, press Ctrl S, and we can see that the drop down list item is right beside it. So 1 is the default value, which means that there won't be any drop down. But if we mention here 2, that means that there will be a drop down, and each and every sub menu items, those been assigned against an individual parent menu item, it will be displayed instantly. So this is what we can see right over here. Everything is right into order, and this is practically the classes, all those Bootstrap 4 classes, those been assigned against those UL classes right over here. And if we get back to our project and press F12, there it goes. Click here, and you can see that this is the UL class here, Nav Bar Nav, which has been assigned. And there goes another class, Nav Bar Nav Nav item, which has been assigned as our parameter. And we have assigned that all those changes, those should be observed in this individual ID of primary menu. And we have set this container parameter as false. That means there won't be any default WordPress parameter which should be wrapping up all those menu items into our project. Okay, we have done up to this far. We have implemented the Bootstrap 4 nav element into our project. All those Bootstrap 4 nav classes which is required to display our nav bars. In the next case, we wish to customize this nav bar as we have seen right over here. We need to place them into the central aligned position and with the faint touch of some kind of animation right over here. There it goes. Similar thing should be implemented right over here. So this is the next thing that we are about to do.